It has been a hot minute since I've made one of my timely word videos. The bottom line is this past year has been a lot and I got a little burned out. I needed some time away from ministry and normal responsibilities just to be refreshed. Which, by the way, is a very biblical concept because even Jesus did that. But that's not the topic for this video. While I was on vacation, the World Cup started and I got hooked. I've been watching way more soccer games, football matches, than I ever thought I would. But I have to admit, I am kind of a fair weather fan when it comes to soccer. Yes, I played soccer in Florida as a child. My parents had old videos of me playing soccer, and I certainly did not look like Pele. I looked more like Pepe Le Pew, bouncing as I ran because I actually thought I would be faster the less time I spent touching the ground. I wasn't all that good. Well, the games this year have been exciting to watch. The more I relearn about the game, the more I can appreciate the strategies and the flow of a match. The more I learn about some of the players, the more I'm interested in their stories. But that's not what drew me in so deeply. My entry into this year's World Cup has been all about the visitors from other countries having so much fun discovering what we consider to be normal life in our country. So many social media posts about the wonder and the awe of life in America. There's Freddie, the German, whose road trips throughout our country have already achieved legendary status. The Tartan army of Scottish fans taking over a Boston Red Sox game. Norwegian fans rowing themselves up escalators. A fan from England getting lunch at a New Jersey deli and having the owner treat him like he's royalty. A young Italian guy going way too far with his free refills of soda. A German fan who got stranded after a match, and some guy named Bob from Boston offered to give him a ride back to his hotel. That guy was in tears telling that story. And on it went. The first day I read a news article that showed about 10 of these video reactions literally brought tears to my eyes. Why? Well, because it restored my belief that there is still good in this world. When your heart has grown calloused and cynical about the worsening state of mankind, those kinds of videos and stories do a lot to heal some of those wounds in your heart. Especially the videos of people who have come to America and their conclusion is, we've been lied to. We've been told over and over again that America is a terrible place filled with racists and gun violence and hatred of all foreigners. But what they have found instead is a welcome with open arms attitude. That and Buc-ee's. And it's not just the fans off the field and in the stands either. I've watched players from opposing teams from different countries run into each other on the field and then turn around and pick each other up, make sure they're okay, give each other a quick hug, and then smile it off and get back to playing. And I realize now that I had these feelings before, just this past winter during the World Baseball Classic. Countries coming together, playing their hardest to win games against each other, and then hugging it out together no matter who lost or won. Now this is where I'm going to pull out my pastor card on you and turn this into a lesson for us in the church. Do you realize what this says about the power of hospitality and the power of treating others, especially outsiders, with respect? Think about all those people from European countries and from Muslim nations. Think about all the baggage they brought with them to America about America. Think about the preconceived notions that had been drilled into their heads about how bad Americans are. And then they get here and they experience the complete opposite from what they expected? What is changing their minds and their hearts? What is making them burn that false baggage and go home with changed opinions about our country and our people? It's good old-fashioned hospitality. Now, to be sure, are there rude, racist, and violent people in America? Well, of course there are. But those people do not get to define our culture, at least not unless we allow them to. The baseline of our culture still is that true Americans want to be blessed so that we can be a blessing. Next question. What kind of baggage is the normal secular person holding about followers of Jesus? What are the preconceived notions that have been drilled into their heads about the Christian church? They've been lied to about the church too. Now, are there rude, self-righteous, and judgmental people in the church? Yeah. And sometimes even you and I might slip into one of those categories. But what is it that's going to reach these people and change their minds? It's going to take Christians showing hospitality and respectfulness, not only on Sunday mornings when someone strays into your church, but especially out there, living your normal life and meeting people wherever you are. This is what Jesus was talking about when he said to his disciples in John 13, verses 34 and 35, "A new commandment I give to you, that you love one another. Just as I have loved you, you also are to love one another. By this, all people will know that you are my disciples if you have love for one another." Jesus said the key for getting through to lost people about the truth of the gospel and the love of Jesus for them is the way we show love. The Apostle Paul fleshed this out for us a bit more. In Romans chapter 12, verses 9 through 18, he wrote this: "Let love be genuine. Abhor what is evil. Hold fast to what is good. Love one another with brotherly affection. Outdo one another in showing honor. Do not be slothful in zeal. Be fervent in spirit. Serve the Lord. Rejoice in hope. Be patient in tribulation. Be constant in prayer. Contribute to the needs of the saints and seek to show hospitality." Now you might say there, well, yeah, but Paul is just telling us to treat each other as fellow Christians with love and hospitality. Well, not according to what he says next, starting in verse 14. "Bless those who persecute you. Bless and do not curse them. Rejoice with those who rejoice. Weep with those who weep. Live in harmony with one another. Do not be haughty, but associate with the lowly. Never be wise in your own sight. Repay no one evil for evil, but give thought to do what is honorable in the sight of all. If possible, so far as it depends on you, live peaceably with all." Paul is not just talking about the way we treat each other inside the church, although that is important. He's talking about the way we treat neighbors and strangers, people from different cultures, different backgrounds, different personalities. You see, I think the World Cup in 2026 is a great opportunity for us all to lean into these words from Romans chapter 12, not only for the sake of our country, but even more for the sake of the church and for the sake of the gospel of Jesus. You might blow a total stranger's categories just by treating them with respect and a welcoming attitude. You might have an opportunity to help one of them take another step along the pathway toward understanding why the message of Jesus is good news and why it's good news for them. How glorifying to God would it be if we could hear someone say, You know, I was lied to about the church. I was told that Christians are all bigoted and hateful. But now I have experienced the complete opposite. I have never been loved like I was loved by those Christians. And now I kind of want to stay with them. You see, hospitality is moving the needle on the world's perceptions of the United States of America. And hospitality is one of the best tools in your belt to show the love of Jesus to strangers. I would recommend go back to Romans 12, read those words again, study them, and live them out in your life, out in the world. As always, God's Word has all the wisdom you need for today's challenges.